right, let's get into it. Today we're talking about something huge, the idea of rebuilding yourself from the ground up. We're going to walk through the path that takes you from where you are right now to the person you are truly, deeply capable of becoming. So let's begin. I want to kick things off with a question, and I need you to be really honest with yourself here. Picture it. 12 months from today, 1 full year has passed, and nothing has changed. You are in the exact same spot you're in now. How does that make you feel? Just sit with that for a second. That feeling, whether it's frustration or maybe even panic, that's our starting point. So, to make sense of this whole journey, we're going to break it down into 5 parts. First, we'll hit the crossroads, that choice between staying comfortable or pushing for growth. Then, we dive into the inner battleground, the war inside your own head. After that, we'll fire up the engine of change, find your undeniable purpose, and finally, talk about how to actually forge your future self. This is our map for today. Okay, part 1, the crossroads. This is about a choice that, whether you realize it or not, you make every single day. It's the fundamental decision between staying where you are or demanding something more from your life. And this really lays out the 2 paths clear as day. On one side, you've got comfort. That's our default setting, right? Staying the same, ducking challenges, maybe looking for other people's approval just so things stay easy. But then there's the other path, growth. And that path is all about doing uncomfortable things on purpose, holding yourself to a higher standard, and always choosing your purpose over your excuses. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. You want to be great? You want to see what you're capable of? Well, you simply can't do that from the couch. Comfort and greatness are like oil and water. They just don't mix. If you really want one, you have to be willing to say goodbye to the other. So let's say you choose growth. What happens next? Well, that takes us right into the inner battleground. This is all about that constant war raging inside your mind, the daily tug of war between how you feel and what you know you need to do. You see, here's the big problem with letting your feelings drive the car. They get you all messed up. Your feelings are not facts. They don't equal reality, and they certainly don't equal results. Your feelings are that voice in your head that tells you, just hit the snooze button. You can start tomorrow. And this is the core truth you've got to burn into your brain. You are bigger than any feeling. That wave of doubt, that laziness, that fear, it will pass. But your will, your decision to get up and act, that's what remains. You just have to choose which one gets the microphone. So, how do you actually win that battle against your feelings? That leads us to the practical part, the engine of change. This is where we talk about the only thing that actually creates a new reality for you, and that's relentless, consistent action. It's a chain reaction, and it's so much simpler than we think. Look, it starts with a thought. That thought inspires an action. When you repeat that action enough, it becomes a habit. And enough of those habits, strung together, literally create your lifestyle. It all comes back to a single thought, followed by a single action. That's it. And this is the secret sauce. So many of us are waiting for that big moment of motivation to strike lightning. But real change, the kind that lasts, doesn't come from what you do every now and then. It comes from what you do day in, day out, especially on the days you don't feel like it. That's world-class consistency. All right, let's pause for a second. Think about your life like it's a game. Maybe this year is the game, and right now, it's halftime. Okay? Maybe the first half didn't go so well. Maybe you're down on the scoreboard. But guess what? The game isn't over. This second half is about to start. Halftime is over. It's time to get back on the field. So what's going to fuel you in that second half? That brings us to your undeniable purpose. This is your why. It's the deep down reason that's going to push you through the pain and the struggle of the how. We spend so much time looking for some big, complex purpose out there in the world. But what if the most important purpose was right here, all along? What if the point is you? To make yourself better. When you see it that way, getting up early to work out isn't a punishment. It's an act of service to your future self. The reason is you. This is a game changer right here. Think about how often we're haunted by what if? What if I tried? What if I had taken that risk? It's a ghost. But I want you to flip the script. The next time you hesitate, ask yourself, why not? Why not me? And why not right now? Look, here's the bottom line. You don't get a life without pain. You just get to choose which kind of pain you want. On one hand, you've got the pain of growth. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. It's learning. It's pushing your limits, but it's temporary. On the other hand, you have the pain of regret. And that's permanent. It's the ache of what if, of wasted potential. So which one will it be?
And that leads us perfectly into our final piece of the puzzle, forging your future self. This is where we take all these concepts and use them to build a new identity, one that's based on cold, hard evidence, not on wishy-washy feelings.
We've all heard that old saying, fake it until you make it. But that doesn't really work, does it? Because deep down, you know you're faking it. So let's try a better way. Make it until you believe it. Don't wait to feel confident. Go out there and do the thing, and let your actions build the evidence that creates genuine, unshakable belief. So how do you do that? Well, you do the hard things. Every single time you show up when you don't want to, you are generating proof. You're building a case file of evidence that says, I am the kind of person who follows through. And when you have that proof, you stop doubting the process. You can look back at everything you've already conquered and know you can handle what's next. This is so unbelievably true. The person who wins, the person who succeeds, they aren't made under the bright lights with everyone cheering. They're forged in the dark, in the quiet, in those thousands of hours of effort when nobody is watching, and the only person holding you accountable is you. That's where champions are made. And when you boil it all down, it really comes to this. That dream you have, that little voice in the back of your head telling you there's more for you, it's not going away. It's part of you. So you have two choices. You can either chase it down with everything you've got, or you can let it haunt you for the rest of your days. And that's where I'll leave you. You've seen the two paths. You know the stakes. The pain of getting better versus the pain of staying the same. Your comfort zone versus your potential. The choice, as it always has been and always will be, is yours. So, what's it going to be?